to another Castle podcast, where we don't have your princess, but we do have your podcast. Oh, guys, it's been a little bit. Lots happened. Lots happened. Lots happened. Oh my God, there's a full show today. I'm gonna try to get through as much as I can because there's a lot to talk about. There's PlayStation news, there's Xbox news, there's movie news, there's tons of DC news. We just had Fandom on Saturday, recording this on a Monday. I don't know. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for coming back every month when I post these things. I say it every time. I'm gonna try to get to them more often than not. It's just work and situations and blah blah blah, all that stuff. Plus, I've been gaming, I've been streaming. I hope you guys are following me on the Twitch. I hope you're subscribing on YouTube and watching the streams and all the fun stuff. And on the Facebook, I'm posting tons of news. So it's another Castle Podcast Nation still happening, guys. Let's start talking about this stuff. And yes, that is Fall Guys music. I've been playing a ton of Fall Guys. I hope you guys have too. It's fun. It's free right now on PlayStation Plus. Such a goofy song. I love it. Let's get into it. Alrighty. It's kind of funny to go from that upbeat, awesome Fall Guys music to the usual intro music. But hey, that's what it is, I guess. Wish I would have thought of that music. That'd be great. And I wish I had the tools to actually make something that fun. Just so fun to hear it. There's a ton to talk about. I got notes. I got stuff. I'm just gonna wing it like I usually do. I have nothing written down. This is just my thoughts on subjects and everything. So I'm just gonna see a subject and just kind of go off like I usually do on the episodes. So everything that's fresh in my mind right now is from Saturday's DC Fandom, and that might be a big chunk because it's fresh, it's new, it's something that just happened. So, but I still have tons of stuff to talk about. I mean, if I run through my little show notes I like to take down throughout the days and weeks, there's stuff about Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, xCloud stuff, Halo stuff, Nintendo Direct rumor. It's supposed to be happening here soon. I guess I'll get that out of the way. There's a Nintendo Direct rumor that might be happening soon. Or there's a rumor that Nintendo Direct will be happening soon. It was thought to be in the August 20th. So we'll see. We got an indie thing not too long ago. I mean, that's a thing, I guess. But no, there's that rumor. So, but there's always the rumor stuff's going to happen. And I find that those rumors are usually, I would say, about 95% true. So, but that's kind of the beauty of those little directs, is that, just you're going through your day, and I don't know, I get notifications on YouTube for certain things. Nintendo's one of those channels I because their main channel of their news is through their YouTube, so I usually have the notifications turned on for that. So it's just like starting my day out, and before I get off work, I'm just like, oh, there's a Nintendo Direct on my YouTube waiting for me. I like that. I like that a lot. So hopefully it's some good news. I mean, I don't think there's ever really been bad news from those, so that's all good. But the DC Fandom thing happened, and I thought it was a success. There's a couple gripes I had, but we still got tons and tons of news. I do, however, wish it wasn't streaming on a website. I know that sounds very kind of like snooty to say, but I mean, like, I literally would have to pull up my laptop and load up the website and then watch the stream just on my laptop. And I don't know about you guys, but like, I've kind of switched over to just apps on my TV and my phone because obviously ease of access. So it would have been nice to, the DC app I pay monthly for and the HBO Max app are both, Warner Brothers. So it's like, couldn't it have also multi-streamed on those two things? That would have been great. More, ease of access, more news coming out, stuff like that, because they still don't have things out that I saw on their YouTube where I can share it or watch it. Luckily, a lot of people were recording and, have a lot of clips of different things. But so I got to watch it on my phone, streaming to my television, and it worked for the most part. And then it got really congested because I think halfway through certain panels, people found out that that panel was happening, and they all jumped on. So like during the Suicide Squad panel, it went off without a hitch, and then they started announcing the characters and that really cool trailer that they now have released. And it started freezing, and I was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me! Why isn't this just on YouTube or something? Like, come on, guys." That gripe aside, though, the things I was looking forward to was Suicide Squad trailer, of course Snyder Cut trailer, the Batman trailer. I was hoping for some like Flash trailer. I was hoping for. I know they haven't shot any Black Adam, but I was hoping they at least had like him picture, like production stills of him in the suit. That would have been nice. And then of course the two video games which were highly rumored for Court of Owls, which I recently just went back and reread Court of Owls and Night of Owls and got super excited about that. And then the Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, but of course Rocksteady buried the lead on that one because they posted a picture of Twitter of them going after Superman, and sure enough, in the trailer, there's Superman. Now, what I didn't get in the trailer that later on, I know, guys, there's trucks. I don't have a professional studio. I'm on my phone. This is punk rock podcasting. That sounds so stupid. But the trailer for Suicide Squad, or Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. Anyways, one thing that wasn't made clear to me that I just didn't catch because my dumb brain didn't catch it was, they show Brainiac, taking over the city and everything, and it kind of was reminiscent of DC, the MMO game, and then the Injustice games. It kind of reminded me of that, and I was like, okay, I'm used to this. But then they showed Superman, and Justice League goes out and kills a bunch of people, and then cuts to a guy, and he gets saved by Superman, and then they're like, oh, Superman, he saved him. And they're all in King Shark, and all them are freaking out. By the way, I'm not a big fan of the King Shark model, but it's not a deal breaker. I'll get over it fast, but his mouth's not that big. He bites, so I want a big mouth. Like the rendering I saw for the Suicide Squad movie, and then of course the fantastic job by Ron Funches on the Harley Quinn animated show is perfect. I'll get over it, though. I'll get over that. And then Captain Boomerang's in there and all that stuff. So I'm probably talking too fast. Anyways, it shows them. Superman kills a guy. And then I was just like, okay, something's up. He doesn't look like Bizarro Superman. I don't know what's going on. Whatever, fine. I'm about this. We'll probably definitely see Batman. So at least there'll be a Rocksteady game with Batman in it at some point. But Kevin Smith went live with his Fat Man Beyond podcast, and he pointed out, and he caught off right away, oh, Brainiac's taking over the Justice League. And I was just like, oh, that makes total sense. So kills the Justice League is just kind of probably going to be a snazzy title, when in reality the anti-heroes are going to reluctantly save the Justice League. So I was just like, all right, cool. It's going to be a team game. I'm hoping there's co-op in it. That's all we got was this really, really good CGI trailer. So my hopes are up. Rocksteady's not let me down once. So whatever direction they want to go in, we'll see. And this is where they turn from their tried and true Batman Arkham series. No, this is still in the Arkham universe. That's important for later. This is still in the Arkham universe. So there's no Joker showing up. But I'm hoping that the storyline goes along the lines of like, Brainiac didn't take over Batman because why? He has no powers. Brainiac doesn't see any use for him. He's all about logic rather than, whatever. So I'm hoping Batman somehow teams up with Suicide Squad, meets Harley, and she's like, Bats! And he becomes part of the team. That would be sick as fuck. Oh my god, that'd be fucking awesome. Changing tunes, though, we did see a lot of what is the WB Montreal game. Now you guys will know them because they did the Batman Origins game, which I like. It did feel a little bit different. Timing felt a little bit different. Especially going through and playing those games through a while back. I was just like, oh, and the pacing was totally different. Now I like the pacing because Origins just kept stepping up and stepping up and stepping up, and it was all about this big boss and everything. Kind of Origins and the other Arkham games didn't really have, like, they were They kind of felt a little more organic, except for Arkham Asylum, that was totally linear. That was like a Metroid style game, but uh, they did that, so they can make a good Batman game. So I was like, okay. And then they come out with Gotham Knights, and they show the whole Bruce Wayne's dead and everything. And then the trailer ends with the Court of Owls, talking about Court of Owls and everything. So the interesting part about this, and yes, this is Batman stuff, so I'm probably going to talk a lot about this. I'm sorry. I don't want to make another 2-hour long episode, but I'm sorry. I just want to get this information out of my head because I've been trying to tell friends and everything. I'm like, no, you don't understand this, and then that happened, and then there's that, and that's why this is probably going to go blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, this is not in the Arkham universe. Gotham Knights is not in the Arkham universe. It is its own universe, which was a bold step. Whatever, fine. That means anything's possible. That means Joker's back. That means all this other shit can fucking happen. So I'm super excited about that. And they're definitely not going to show Joker in the beginning. I guarantee they're not going to do that. That's going to be hidden, hopefully. So, this shows Bruce Wayne being dead. So I thought, oh, that's a continuation off Arkham Knight. It is not. Now, side note, in the Court of Owls comic, there's a murder. Batman goes to investigate, blah, blah, blah. Hears about the Court of Owls. Alfred kind of tells him about it. And, sorry, my cat's doing stupid shit. Get out here. And so, he finds out there's this connection with the Court of Owls and the Wayne family. So, in the comics, I'm really trying to not give away too much out of the comic, which might eventually be part of the story. But Wayne finds out that all the buildings that the Waynes own and had built, his great-grandfather was superstitious, and the 13th floor, he didn't have any elevators go to it, and it was locked off, and, it was all, like, shut off and everything. Well, he goes to the 14th floor and then drills a hole in the ground and falls through to the 13th floor, because that's the only way to get to it, because it's completely sealed off. And sure enough, he finds this League of Assassins there is actually a League of Assassins in the Batman universe, so I shouldn't say that, but he finds the Court of Owls. And they've been killing people, and mainly Waynes, and they're in all these Wayne buildings. And of course, boom, the building blows up because Batman is found out and all this stuff, whatever. So they end up kidnapping Batman, and they put him in this big old labyrinth. I mean, I'm talking like labyrinth. Like that, how big that thing is, that's what they throw him in. Now, not like a garden one like the Labyrinth movie with David Bowie, but like that scale of Labyrinth. And he's in there for like months, like a month or two or something like that. Meanwhile, all the Bat family is out looking for him. And so the other issues of like Red Hood and the Outlaws and Batgirl and Robin and all those other comics, they all connect, because that's how DC works, Court of Owls happened through like the course of like a bunch of comics you had to read to get the full story. Well, they go out fighting the Talons, which is the Court of Owls assassins, and they're fighting them in their respective area, trying to figure out where Batman's at. So I'm wondering if that's kind of where they're going to go with it. They're going to think he's dead and be like, no, we got to find the Court of Owls, and through finding the Court of Owls, they figure out where Batman's at and whatever. So that still could lead to Batman still being in this game. Mind you, I'm trying to shoehorn any reason to have more Batman in more video games. So, but that's totally a possibility based on that storyline. So that's going to be it's going to be a co-op game. I'm super excited for it. That alone makes me super excited for it. Because, I mean, even when I remember Origins came out, me and Jared, as you guys know from the podcast, we literally called each other after we got that, and then hopped on an Xbox party to chat and played the game, quote unquote, together. We just played through it separately, but over chat, so we could play together. Now we're going to be able to do that. And there's RPG elements. And they said, yes, Court of Owls is like the main storyline, but it's one of the storylines. So like they're going to hopefully add on to it. So I'm guessing this game might keep going past that and be like hey, there's going to be more DLC, there's going to be more of this, we're going to keep adding to it, and that's why it's its own universe, because we can add whatever the fuck we want now. We've essentially established a multiverse in the video games now. Granted, there's a multiverse in all the movies, which I'll get to that later. But now they can do whatever they want with this WB Montreal title, which they own and can do whatever they want with. And then Rocksteady still has their Arkham verse that they're going through and fleshing out and doing bigger and better things. When I first saw it, I was just like, oh, okay. I wish this was Batman Court of Owls. And I start thinking about it, I'm like, wait, there's all these things and possibilities. And then when I saw the Suicide Squad, I was a little underwhelmed because I was like, why is there no gameplay? Oh, 2022 for Suicide Squad, 2021 for Gotham Knights. So fine, whatever. I'm totally down. And also, Gotham Knights will be that cross-generational type of shit where it's Xbox One, PS4, Xbox Series X, PS5. So whatever, fine. It means I can still play it once I'm probably going to pick up an Xbox One X here real soon. So that's probably, I can still play it on that if I haven't went up, which is good, which means it's not rushing me into that generation yet, and possibly lets, Xbox and PlayStation figure any kinks they have when they first launch the systems. I can be like, okay, you guys do your fucking shit. I can wait on Miles Morales a little longer. You guys just figure out your stuff, and then I'll start trading systems and getting the better stuff. So, because I'm a poor piece of shit. But those are the video games. As far as Suicide Squad, pretty sure that's completely next generational. 2022, it better be. I mean, that'd be pushing it for me. I think 9 years on these systems now. But there's that. Okay, there's the video games. There's all my thoughts on that. That's like 15 fucking minutes of video games. As far as the movies go, I was disappointed there was no Suicide Squad trailer. But they did have a great panel. James Gunn was great. They were fun and lively. They played a game. James is so pumped about this and the things he said and the fact that I believe him so much. Him alone, he's got me hyped for this game. Movie. Because like his energy and the things he was saying, this is the most fun I've ever had on a set. This is the most fun group of people I've ever worked with. This is the biggest and best thing I've ever done. I guarantee the Marvel team and Guardians is just like, all the people in Guardians are just like, hey, you still got to come back and make the third one. The fuck are you doing, bro? You were just a part of the most successful superhero franchise of all time. What the fuck? So if that's the case, and it looks like DC's finally, hopefully, going to step the fuck back and just be like, okay, you know what? We learned our lesson with Snyder Cut. People are clamoring for the Ayer cut. I think it's Ayer, how you say his last name, the director of the first Suicide Squad, because he got hoodwinked, and I know you're bored. He actually, with the Suicide Squad, the first one, he had his cut, turned it in, and was done. But they didn't give him, as a director, final say. So when they cut that trailer that everyone loved, they let that company actually go through and do their cut of the movie, and they spliced them. And that's what you get with Suicide Squad, and that's why it has a really juxtaposed tone when it comes to everything. Because I'm guessing that I think Ayer was trying to make everything a little more serious, and they kind of went towards the weird kind of what the Harley Quinn movie became. So anyways, James Gunn has me trying to feed my cat and podcast. Oh, well. There you go. Is that why you're freaking out? Oh, some ASMR for you. So anyways, he has me psyched on that movie, and I was positive they were going to show a trailer, and then they didn't. They showed a behind-the-scenes trailer. And he was talking about all the explosions, and he said, hey, the guy that they got, one of the special effects guy, or the special effects guy from the Marvel series, and he said that this movie, he's done more in this one movie as far as special effects and explosions than he did on all of the Marvel movies he worked on combined. So I'm just like, God damn, man, okay, this movie better be fucking hype, because the hype is fucking real. Oh yeah, take off, yeah. Dude's engine. So I don't know. He's got me hyped on that. I'm happy, whatever, fine. And I'm pretty sure that's another 2021 release date, so it's whatever. Because I mean, they've already had that done for a minute. They wrapped filming in February. So hopefully 2021, COVID pending. I don't know. You should check it out. It's online. It's pretty good. I actually posted, I think, on the Facebook. So if you go to Facebook, I've been posting a shit ton. Anytime I see anything nerdy, I instantly throw it on the Another Castle podcast Facebook. So if you go there and like the page, you'll get all that updates and everything. So you get a lot more news more fast on that because it's so much easier for me to go, oh, and then share. That's my O face, I guess. But that was that. Black Adam, we got nothing except for The Rock talking and then a brief flash of a drawing of him. So, sure, I guess that's really all we got. A drawing of him in the suit, which there's already been mock-ups, so that's really all we got for that shit. What else did they have? The Flash had a really fun panel as well. Wonder Woman did a full trailer, and that looks great. I was surprised. We have a whole Bucky situation with Steve coming back. But it looks pretty funny. It looks pretty good. I think Patty, the director, she's going to do another good job. She did a great job on the first one. When it comes to Flash, they had a fun panel. Again, no trailer. And they didn't talk about the Keaton-Affleck portion of it, which I was kind of bummed. But they had a fun thing with Ezra and the director and what was going to happen. Now, what's bigger about the Flash deal was like their little panel was fun and everything, but before that, they had this kind of like execs panel where there's four of them. It's like Jim Lee and then like two other respective heads of the company. One's in charge of movies, one's for TV and everything. And they talked about, this is really cool. I don't know why they didn't mention this in the panel for the Flash. They went ahead and during the Crisis on Infinite Earths on the CW stuff, which I'm not caught up with because it's so daunting with like 2,000 episodes a season and like an hour long each. And I know they cracked down to like 40-something minutes, but like, fuck, I watched the first 3 or 4 seasons of The Flash, just boom, 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 boom. I was watching them live. It was great, it was great. And then it kind of fell off. And by the time I fell off and looked up, it was like 2 seasons were gone. And I was like, man, I don't really have 48 hours to watch this. And then I barely watched Supergirl. I watched a bunch of Arrow when it first came out. I don't remember it. You know, like, I'm missing out so much. I just wouldn't get it. But I did watch all the stuff I would understand. And the crossover stuff was amazing and fun. Here's the fun fact. Ezra Miller. Now, this is like last minute shit they did. If you've watched that, Ezra Miller's Flash actually goes and talks to Grant Gustin's Flash on it. And that was a cool thing that even the people that shot the episode didn't know. Like, it was an idea they had at the last minute and blah, blah, blah. And they said, could we do it? They messaged Ezra. He said, absolutely. He said, will we come in and see if you still fit in the suit? Because those suits are pretty form-fitting. And, you know, he could have got smaller or bigger. And sure enough, he still fit in the suit and came in and shot it like the week before it aired. It's not a long scene, and it's fairly easy to do. They could just green screen it. But he did it. It was a real fun scene. But the poignant part of it was that he's talking to Grant Gustin's Flash, and they're talking about whatever happens in the episode. And he goes, oh. And Grant Gustin's character gets it because he's used to the idea of the Speed Force at this point, given they did Flashpoint already. So he's, used to the Speed Force and going back in time and all that kind of stuff. So he then tells him, he's like, oh, I'm the Flash too. And he goes, the Flash? Who? Ezra Miller's Flash. He goes, what? Who's the Flash? The Flash. I like that name. Flash. That's where he fucking gets his name in the fucking movie. They're taking that and going back to the actual, DC extended universe. And that's why he's going to call himself the Flash, because of that. And I was like, well, that's cool. Well, since they did that, everything, and then since they're going to have all this other stuff happen in the movie where they're going to have multiple Batmans and all that stuff, Jim Lee and them were just like, well, now this is the direction we're going. And I was like, genius. because they can't do what Marvel did. They can't do the linear, hey, start here and you'll end up here for over 10 years, blah, 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 all that shit. We're building. And the TV shows are connected, but not really connected. Like they are in the same universe. They even have the same characters, like the one Agents of Shield. But they were really picky about what they did and everything. And this is how DC explained it. Oh, by the way, there's a multiverse now. Everything you've ever seen, played, watched, whatever, is all in the same multiverse. The Batman 66 is connected to Batman Beyond, and that's connected to the Joker movie, and then that's why you have Robert Pattinson's Batman, and you have Ben Affleck's Batman, and you have Michael Keaton's Batman, and you have all these Batmans and everything. They're all connected. There's a different, like, this one's on Earth there's Earth Prime, there's Earth 2, there's Earth 26, there's Earth 9, there's all these different universes. And I was just like, fuck, that's how they do it. So you can have someone come and do a standalone story, just like in the comics, that they do it all the time, have done it since the beginning of comics. You can have someone come in with an original story, put out, either a graphic novel, like a one-off, or they can do like a 4-issue run on a side story or something, and you just go, oh, it's a multiverse. And I was just like, that's genius. That's how they explain this. Because people are like, oh, is the Joker going to be in this one? No. But don't be mad, they're still in the same multiverse. So there's always a chance when you throw Flash in the mix, he could bring over Joaquin Phoenix's and put him in this movie and do that with that. There's always a chance because they're all connected under the DC umbrella of the multiverse. And I was like, all right, I feel a little better now. That I don't feel like, because people kept using this is a reboot. Nope. This is just a new story in the multiverse of DC. It's not a reboot. We're just letting Matt Reeves do his interpretation, and that's Earth 29 or some shit. And I was like, sweet. So they can get rid of that word reboot. Like, they had to do a Spider-Man. Hey, it's a reboot. And then the third reboot going to Tom Holland. And I was just like, okay, that's cool. I'm down with that. That's a great way to spin your difference, because Marvel doesn't have a multiverse. So that's a great way to spin your thing, your little special thing you have. Because Marvel has this like linear thing, you can go back and just watch their movies like you'd watching a season of a TV show. So that was all great. Then we get to the Snyder Cut, and they show a full trailer. By the way, be careful when you're watching this, streaming it, or uploading a video of it, because the song they use is it's taking people down. I was actually watching the Fat Man Beyond podcast live, and he showed that trailer because they were talking about everything, and they showed that trailer. And sure enough, they didn't get right to the end of the song, and the live stream goes down. And they come back on about 6 or 7 minutes later, and he's just like, oh, are we back? What the fuck happened? And apparently that happened. Now, I watched Dr. Disrespect today stream it, and nothing happened to him. And people were screaming in the chat like, mute the fucking music, mute the fucking music. And he didn't see it, and he played it all the way through, almost to the end. There's a little back and forth between the people for like 3 seconds at the end. He just kind of skipped over or whatever, but maybe that's why, I don't know. But Kevin's got taken down before that. He didn't get close to that point. But, Chance, come on. Hey, I'm going to close the blind. Hey, come on, get out of there. So, but that Snyder Cut looks amazing. I mean, they start out just right out of the gate showing Darkseid. They show right out of the gate, they show Superman, and they show like the black suit, which we've seen clips of the black suit, him talking to Alfred. They show new clips of Wonder Woman. They show new clips of Cyborg. They show new clips of the Flash saving Iris. They show weird scene of like Superman getting like shocked and everything. So I don't know what that was about. They show the new Steppenwolf design. They show new fighting scenes and everything where Superman's actually fighting in the black suit. A bunch of shit. Just more hype. I'm down. Yes, I got HBO Max. Let's do this. I'm ready for this. The actual news that came out of it, besides just footage, was that it will be a 4-part series that's an hour each. And then once they do it, they might do a weekly thing with it. He didn't really specify that part, but it will be a 4-part. But he did say when it was done, you will be able to watch it in its entirety, just straight through, just as a 4-hour long movie. If you want to watch that, which I do, I want to watch that all day long. They showed more Batman stuff, them talking, and they talked about taking down Darkseid, and the Flash is just like, well, he's probably fought a ton of people in the different hells he's been in and everything, and Batman goes like, well, he's never fought us together, so I don't care what demons he's fought and all that shit. So I was like, all right, yay, hurrah, let's do this shit. So that was awesome. After that point, I was like, all right, that's a lot of news. What the fuck is the Batman going to be now? Because that was kind of like their coup de grace. Like, we got to get, this is the end of it. And there was other things they showed in there that I didn't get a chance to watch. These are just like the big keynotes. So Matt Reeves goes in and talks for half an hour, and I've not watched all of it because I didn't catch that part. I caught the tail end of it, but then I watched the beginning of it, and he's talking about the world and how he's building it, and how he loves Batman, and he loves the Rogues Gallery, and he loves all the shit that goes along with it, and he starts to explain the world of it and what he thinks it should be. And then I didn't even know this was a thing, but they're actually making the TV show. So on HBO Max, they're going to show, there's a show going to be called Gotham PD. And that's going to be Batman Year One. Now, it's probably not going to be any Batman in it. I'm just going to put my expectations and be like, it's going to be like Gotham on Fox. No Batman. You'll see, you see Bruce Wayne in that one. But he's talking about how you're going to see like Gordon and them get like, oh, there's rumors of a Batman, and there's going to be like bad guys be like, no, there's this guy in a suit and blah, blah, blah. And there's going to be like stuff about it. So I don't know how far they're actually going to go. There's been no talk of actually having Pattinson in it. That'd be cool if they did, because what's going to happen then is the Batman, the movie, is going to be Batman Year 2. And here's the thing. They've only shot 25 to 30% of that movie. So somehow, Chance, come on. Hey. Come on. Now, calm down. It's okay. It's okay. You don't like the people outside. Anyways, they've only shot 25 to 30% of that movie. And so I was not expecting any kind of trailer. Oh, shit. Like, they came out with a full trailer, like a over 2-minute long actual trailer that gives story and shows shit and has moments, and I guarantee I've watched it 100 times between watching it on my own, showing it to people, and watching reactions. I sat for 3 hours watching reactions as people were posting them, like laugh crying when people freaked out. I was like, yes. But it shows Batman, who is still working with the police. So this might be the point in his career where the police start to like mistrust him and be like, well, what are you doing in this city? Like, now you're bringing in these motherfuckers, and like, we've had crime before, but this is the rise of the supervillain. So you see him walking, and the police are kind of eyeballing him, like, okay, whatever. And Gordon, trust him, obviously. If you've seen Batman Year One, I wonder if they're slightly connected or if they fed from storylines from that, but Gordon was kind of an outsider when he came to Gotham and rose to the ranks, and then the Batman helped him, and he helped Batman and all that kind of stuff. So, of course, everyone knows he trusts Batman. But has a Riddler clue on a body that they're doing the No More Lies thing. Great trailer, great sound. They chose Something in the Way by Nirvana. It's remixed. It's so perfect. And you see some glimpses, and you see Pattinson actually as like Bruce Wayne, kind of a emo Bruce Wayne, which I'm totally okay with. And but fuck, guys, the fight scene. That's what everyone is like. Okay, cool. All right. Oh shit, we see the fucking suit in the first couple seconds, like maybe first 10 seconds. We see like him in the suit. Uh-oh. I know, sirens outside. I know. You hear that? Here it comes. Nice. But, you see him in the suit, you're like, yes. You see them talking about shit, yes. And then it goes to black, and, of course, some goon asks, who the hell are you? And then he just beats the fuck out of a Markham style, akin to Affleck in the warehouse scene in Batman vs. Superman, which is my favorite Batman possibly thing ever. Hands down live action. Because there's some comic book moments and there's some animated movie moments that are really good. But the great thing about this, though, that puts it at that level is not just, how fast, brutal, and precise he is. It's that the camera doesn't cut. And I saw someone point out that the camera cuts after like 2-3 hits in the warehouse scene. This Batman gets like 7, 8, 9 hits, and then when the guy goes down, he makes sure that he's down, which is like what you do in the video game. I was like, oh shit, yes, shit yes, because I stood up in the theater when that warehouse scene happened in Batman vs Superman. I yelled. I was like, fucking, it was amazing. So I know, and Matt Reeves did say this is supposed to be a noir detective movie, which I'm down with too, because like they need to do more. He is the greatest detective on earth, so they need to showcase that, and I'm down for him to showcase that. But also the fighting needs to happen too, because he's a more brutal Batman in the beginning. His anger's still at top level. But they quoted like Chinatown and Taxi Driver and everything like that they were trying to use, which I'm totally okay with and love. But yeah, that happened. The logo came out, and it just was like awesome. And it's just been a rise of positivity of people. I haven't seen one bad comment. I don't think I've seen one bad comment, one bad review, one bad reaction, nothing. I've seen nothing but good stuff. The only other side I've seen is the side that I'm kind of on, is like, oh my God. Inside, my fangirl is screaming, and I'm like, yes, this is it. This is it. This is it. At the same time, I don't want to get my hopes up and get get fucked over and be like, shit, So I'm cautiously optimistic, but inside I'm doing that shit. And that was a great place to put it on. I'm ready for the show. I'm ready for the movie. I'm ready for the Snyder Cut. I'm ready for all the shit they laid out. I'm ready for the games. I mean, like, they just laid out their 2-3 year plan, and I'm just like, yes. Everything you guys said, yes, I'm 100% down. Random side note, I forgot about this. It just popped in my head since I got through the Batman stuff. 40 minutes of Batman stuff. Sorry. Shazam 2, definitely coming. And then Sinbad shows up. Like the comedian, like one of my favorite comedians shows up. And there's this whole Mandela effect around Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal, that everyone thinks Sinbad is in Kazam. So it's funny he shows up for Shazam. And that was really funny. And everyone's like, he's probably in the damn movie. Probably gonna have a cameo in the movie. So that was kind of a fun bit, and I fucking hope he's in that movie. I would love for Sinbad to be in that movie. I know, you would too. Right? I know. So that's all my DC fandom stuff. Let's get in the other news, because I'm already like 40-something minutes into this thing, and I don't want to talk for too long, even though I like talking to you guys, whoever's listening. So, all right, let's move on, guys. Okie dokie. That was a lot of fandom stuff. I'm sure there's probably some stuff I missed, but those are the key points, and I'm really glad I got to get off my chest with you guys. It feels so good. It's like literally sinking yourself into a hot bath. Just love that shit. But on to my notes, so I can actually get through some of this stuff, because there's a lot of stuff. First, as you know now, not when I took notes down, but they've released a trailer. The new Call of Duty is it's Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. So 14 titles. It sounds like a Japanese show or something. Call of Duty, uh, Super Series, Black Ops, Cold War, Extreme, Dubrakai, all that kind of stuff. But here's the fun thing, though. The name was actually leaked. Someone had taken a picture of a bag of Doritos. As you know, Doritos likes to do their, well, the Doritos Mountain Dew combo, that stuff. They like to do the double XP. They've done it for better part of a decade, if not a full decade now. Yeah, because Modern Warfare 2 was like 2009, 10, something like that. So it got released on a bag of Doritos. Because you realize they have to print those things way in advance on the packaging and get it done and ready because the game's supposed to be out this year. Then they got to start getting everything sent out. So, of course, someone along the line is just like, oh, shit, this could make news. And then they put it out on Reddit. And then now we know the name. It had a logo. I totally believed it. Sure enough, they released a trailer. It's basically a know your history trailer kind of thing, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Fine, cool. I'm not sure how keen I am on playing another older war game, to be honest with you. Throughout what they've done with Modern Warfare, I don't know how they're going to top it between the updates and the free modes and just the constant stream of new cosmetics and things you can get and earn and the battle pass and Warzone being as popular as it is and coming out of the gate free to play. I mean, just like, it's probably the best Call of Duty, period. I liked Black Ops 4 for what it was, just a multiplayer game. Mind you, I've not even played the multiplayer or the single player campaign yet, and I've heard it's one of the best. Even if it's not one of the best, the fact that I can play full campaign on this game, I can play full multiplayer with a rotating list of game modes between just regular deathmatch to I love gunfight. Me and Jared sit on gunfight for hours because it's more strategic and it's more fast paced. It's kind of like Breakout from Halo 5. And then you throw Warzone in the mix, and you throw it free to play, and you throw it cross play, and you're just like, fuck. How are they gonna top this? So I don't know. Hype is not real on that one for me. I know Call of Duty can't because it's just in their nature. Be it Treyarch or be it Infinity Ward or be it whoever's doing it. Back to day Sledgehammer and shit with Advance. But I don't know. I feel like they should have taken a step back and just done every maybe 2 or 3 years. Kind of the approach that Assassin's Creed did do. They took a step back for a little over 2 years to hone their vision and everything. And I think they can keep Warzone going. Just new updates, new maps, new things, new battle pass, just like Fortnite. I mean, Fortnite, you download the same game, it's updated, but it's a different game than what it was. I mean, I play Fortnite now on the daily almost, just because of how fun and refined and awesome it's got with, and not to mention I just bought the Batman pack, which is on Fortnite right now, and I highly recommend it because it's cool as fuck. So I don't know what else they're gonna do. Now, more specific though about that whole Doritos bag is that, like I said, it includes a double XP. Now that's gonna start. Sorry, mind you, I'm recording this on August 23rd. This begins October 1st, which is the same time last year it started. And last year, the game came out on October 25th. So I'm wondering if they're going to start letting you build up your points on October 1st, which is when this starts. That's confirmed. And it's going to be an October release because they're not going to let you build it up for, I'd say, more than 3 weeks or so. So I'm hoping it's the same situation. We'll get it in October to see what it's going to be. If not, gosh, sorry guys. If not, say they come out with a whole, fucking whatever. And this is kind of how I felt when I was playing Blackout, because I was playing a lot of Blackout. I was like, oh, they're going to do Modern Warfare and they're going to have another Battle Royale. That's so dumb. And I'm going to whatever. And no, it worked. This is bigger and better. So even if this is a flop or maybe it's a one-off or it doesn't have the Battle Royale thing, they can say, That's fine. This is going to be a regular campaign and multiplayer game. Warzone is going to live on as its own thing. Go download it for free right now. It's going to live on. The only part that sucks is that they're probably going to have a different set of controls and moves and different things like that. That I'm not sure how they would be able to implement that into Warzone. But at the same time, it's like, no, Warzone is going to be its own thing, and then we're going to have a rotating list of games, which I think would be good. Eventually just cut out the Modern Warfare thing and just say Call of Duty Warzone, and that's its own. That's your battle royale that lives on, and you're just constantly making money and updating and doing shit. Maybe come out with Warzone 2. I don't know. Maybe do what Fortnite did, and the same game. And if you remember, Fortnite went black and came out. Different mechanics, different things. So it's like they pretty much released a second one and just made the second one an update to the first one and like slid it under the rug, kind of like, oh yeah, hey, this, by the way, this is a completely new game, new engine, new everything. They could do that easily. So, but I'm just not sure what they're going to do. I'm sure people are going to buy it regardless. I'm going to hold back from it and see what's going on. I kind of did that with Blackout. Happily surprised, picked it up. I did that with Warzone. Held back, picked it up, surprisingly happy with it. So, I don't know. Hopefully, it's probably going to be October. I'm guessing we have no release date. So, what else we got? Oh, this is random. Now, in Brazil, I have been watching this series on YouTube about this. He's a gamer, and he kind of goes to different countries. Extremely well production value for what this guy has. But he goes different places around the world and looks at the gaming cultures there and how they differ from us and all that stuff. And it's super fascinating and interesting. The Brazil gaming scene, I mean, like the entire country is like its own thing. They have to deal with so many, like they had to deal with embargoes, like they couldn't, there was a whole thing, and I'm not going to get into the history or try to act like I'm, whatever. There was political strife there. And pretty much, you couldn't import shit. It had to be Brazilian made. It was Brazil first. So a lot of these companies, come on, Siren. A lot of these companies couldn't just, you couldn't just, hey, we're gonna sell Nintendo. We're gonna sell an Xbox. We're gonna sell the Xbox game. We're gonna do this. Whatever, right? They couldn't do that. Nintendo or whatever would have to find a company in Brazil and then have them make the thing and then sell it and that kind of work around whatever. So a lot of companies didn't want to do that. So there was a lot of importing and sometimes illegal importing. But that being said, that was a whole side note to this because I want, this is a Brazil story, kind of. It's a Brazil story, a Xbox story, and a World of Warcraft story. Now, World of Warcraft. I sound so stupid when I say that. I got a weird accent on the World of Warcraft. It was actually rated by the Games Board in Brazil for Xbox Series X. So I don't know what that means. What's going to happen with that? If they're thinking about a release and they're going through and low key trying to get stuff rated so they could just release it or what. But there was a ton of people posting about it being rated by the Games Board in Brazil because they have their own Games Board, just like we have the ESRB here in the States. So, and then is it PEGI for everyone else? PEGI 18 or 16. So there's that. So I'm not sure how we take from that what you will, but that would be pretty epic to have World of Warcraft on a console. I know people are going to say, well, just play on your PC. Well, motherfucker, some people that have consoles don't have a PC. And some people that have a PC are like, why would I buy a console? I have a PC. The more the merrier as far as I'm concerned. And kind of, I would like to have an all-inclusive ecosystem that I play that type of game with, with something easy and I put it into play and I'm already on that system anyway. And, that kind of stuff works for me. I kind of like it. I just like the option of it. I don't know. And I mean, with the graphics, it should run. I mean, realistically, I figure you could run World of Warcraft, depending on server and size and everything. You could probably run it on a damn Switch. Just because, like as far as graphically intensive, whatever. Now, putting that many people on screen, I don't know why there'd be too much of a problem with it. I mean, it's not like there's these insane, crazy moves in it or anything like that. So I'm not sure why it should be that big of a deal. But I've always wanted on console. I've always thought it'd be fun to be on console and easily be able to invite people in through the PlayStation friend invite and have a party on that, instead of having to get a Discord and then talk to people and then load the game up and then try to invite them in and do it. Like it's a lot more to it. And then also if my PC's my editing rig and I've got all these other programs eating RAM up, if I'm even running them or whatever have you, it's just like, I don't know. I just think it would be a plus side. And I don't know why. It could easily run on these systems. I mean, fuck, I was playing that game on PC 10 years ago. So, I don't know. Hopefully that's a sign that it pumps up. That'd be really cool if they actually could do something like that. Here's the big story. I know I'm plowing through these because I'm trying not to make a bunch of breaks anymore. So, let's talk about Marvel Avengers. Okay. This fucking game. That guy's going fast. This fucking game, guys. Okay. It's announced. Looks... I'm not sure what's going to happen with it. So... Sorry, my throat's it's all dry. So it's announced. Should we see that trailer? I like Crystal Dynamics. I like Square Enix. Just wondering what they're doing with this property. This seems kind of a weird whatever. The trailer looks okay. They show gameplay like through whatever, but it looks so staged. I'm like, no, this looks like it's like a in-engine gameplay type of bullshit. But it's not really what it's going to look like. Then the open beta was this weekend. And I did beat the open beta. And you play the whole fucking thing that you saw earlier this year, or midway through this year. And it plays just like it looked. Like, I died one time, I missed a jump or whatever, I was like, fuck. But I mean, it was it. Like, fuck, they did that. Okay, alright, I'm down. Then once that opens, they cut to the story. I'm not going to spoil it. They cut to the story. It's technically 5 years later. That's all I'm going to say. And you're playing as two characters. And then I'm just like, wow. It's a full, RPG. It has the elements. The skill tree is easy. The gear system, it's easy. But easy is not a bad. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying I easily was just like, oh yeah, cool. I'm going to do this. I want to do this. And I knew how to do it intuitively. So that comes out. Loved it. It's great. But going into it, I was a little skeptical because of, honestly, the trailer. And then this bit of news. Spider-Man's exclusive to PlayStation only. Now, I'm gonna preface this Spider-Man bit by just saying, no video game system or company has exclusive rights to Spider-Man. They don't. I know everyone was like, oh yeah, Spider-Man game's on PlayStation, so of course that's why they have Spider-Man in this fucking game. That's not it. They just had Marvel Ultimate Alliance as a Switch exclusive, and that has Spider-Man in it. Spider-Man's video game rights they're not owned at all. You just license it for that specific game, and you can make that game on whatever system or all three systems if you want. So I'm not sure why Square Enix or Crystal Dynamics or whatever, even though they've done a couple exclusives before in the past, which is kind of whatever, but I'm not sure why they chose, when it comes to like an RPG game like this that's big and like it involves cutscenes and a pretty deep storyline, actually. I want to know what happens. That's why I really want to know what the fuck happens in the game. So I might, pick this up day one just to know. But why? I don't understand it. I understand a timed exclusive, but like you're literally going to have to add in cutscenes and storylines and interactions between characters. They're not going to be in the other versions. So the other versions are like, they have to alter the story. Here's the thing though. They're probably going to keep the story the same. And you're just going to get a lesser version of Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4 and then 5 if you play it on 5. Because what they're going to do now is they're going to have to shoehorn him in to the game instead of including him from the very beginning and making him a part of the entire big storyline. He's probably going to have a couple side missions and then just be a playable character. Like exclusive side missions and be a playable character. So not only is it shitty that he's exclusive now, but now you're going to get a lesser version of probably my favorite, besides Wolverine, Marvel superhero in one of their biggest games. So it's like, fuck, that's stupid. If you would have had him in all versions, then you could have included him in the bigger story. But now you can't, unless you have two different fucking stories. Which is like stupid when you're looking at it from a development side. It's just going to add to more problems, add to more bugs, add to more shit. So not only is it exclusive, but it's going to be a lesser version than what it could have been. Now, if they announce a timed exclusive, the initial story doesn't have him in it, and then once he goes multi-platform, then they announce, oh, here's the big DLC for the next round, because this is supposed to be a living game, like a Destiny style or whatever, where they're going to keep adding stuff to it, which I welcome. If they do it that way, fine. We get a brief taste of Spider-Man on PlayStation, whatever, fuck it. You don't miss out on PC and Xbox too much. You're like, whatever. You go to your friend's house, you play the side missions, you go whatever. Then they release them on all systems, and then they have the big introduce Spider-Man into the whole thing, like in a big way. Okay, fine, do that, I guess. But I don't know. I thought it was absolutely stupid. With that said, though, that open beta was awesome. It was great. Had a little connectivity issues at the end of it, but whatever. I had a great fucking time, loved it. Had a blast playing it. Every character played. Like, I thought it was just going to be, oh, you got a light attack, heavy attack, block, evade, and then like some special moves. That's it. No. Everyone plays differently. Everyone has their different stuff. I played mainly as Iron Man, and Jared played as the Hulk. And then they had a really cool system where you can, I invited Jared in, and then I could open up the 2 other slots because you can have 4 people play. And sometimes when it requires 4 people playing and you don't have people, it just has, computer AI, which did a great job. The computer saved me and Jared's ass several times. But you can hit matchmaking, enable it, and then people who are playing as different characters, who are playing the same level, it'll pop them in. Boom, boom, boom. You can have a whole lobby of real people. That easy. And it worked like a charm until the very end. It got a little wonky and stuff. But worked like a charm. And then to tie it back into the Fortnite thing, if you beat the beta, you got in Fortnite, you got these, 'cause I don't know if you have harvesting tools where like you break down walls and stuff to get like stone and brick and steel and all that shit, wood. Well, you got Hulk hands, and they can either be the big green Hulk hands or they can be the Iron Man suit Hulk hands, like the big Hulk hands. So it's just funny because now I'm playing as Batman in Fortnite, and I have Hulk hands smashing through windows and walls and buildings. And just the visual of that, so fucking fun. I was like, damn, that free open beta was worth it to have this fun moment in a completely different game. But still, that's my whole beef with that whole shit. So, I understand why they'd make something like that exclusive. I really don't know why. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. So, I don't know. All right. Let's keep it going with the news. What's left on my notes? Talked about that. Oh, let's talk about some quick Xbox stuff. Halo. Real fast, get this out of the way. xCloud. It's a great service. It's going to be included with Game Pass Ultimate for free. Now, what this does, and I've been playing the beta for I don't know, 8-9 months plus. Um, and it allows you to stream content from your console straight to your phone or tablet. So you can connect it right to your console, and if you want to go in the other room and play, you can. And it works surprisingly fucking well. And you have full access to your entire console and all that kind of stuff. It's a great tool. It's awesome. I can imagine if having kids someday and like they're doing stuff, and that's why I got a Switch. Not specifically because I don't have kids, but for that reason. Like if someone wants the TV, I can pop it off, plug in my headphones, I'm good to go. Now I could essentially do the exact same thing with my Xbox, and I love it. Now, granted, your router pending doesn't have to do with your internet, but your router pending, which anything you guys get from your cable provider, your internet provider, your provider for internet, whatever, is probably going to be more than enough. 99% of the time, it will be. And there's like no lag. It's great. Because you leave your controller connected to your console, so there's no input lag, which is my biggest gripe in the world. Next to lag, it's number one. It's above lag. I hate input lag. I actually went through 3 TVs. I literally went to H.H. Gregg like 10 years ago and went through 3 televisions. Took them home, hopped on, played the Halo Reach beta, noticed input lag. Next day, took it back, got a new one. Anyways, it's great feature. The big feature about it though is that you don't even need your system. You can stream your games straight from the cloud. So all the processing is done on Microsoft's end, which granted, that's kind of who you want doing your shit because they have over 300 servers in like how many hundreds of countries? They're everywhere. And so all the processing is done on their end. You connect your controller via Bluetooth right to your phone or your tablet, and then you can play it. And I'm telling you, I was playing Halo 5, no problem. Especially if you're just doing campaign stuff, it's whatever. Multiplayer, you're the same problems you'd have as if you were, playing online and had lag issues or whatever happened. The same kind of problems exist because it's not a perfect world, but the fact you can do that's great. Now, right now, they have a limited supply of what games you can play. I think I played like Madden on it, and I played Halo 5, of course, on it and everything. But on September 15th, is that right? Yeah, September 15th, they're releasing the full, hey, it's finally available to everyone. Now, they say it's not done. It's not going to ever really be done. They're going to be constantly tweaking it like they do with their UI on their systems. But this is the first full, here it is, and they're going to have, all the Game Pass games on it and everything. Of course, I'm pretty sure anything on Game Pass is going to instantly be playable on there. But their ultimate goal is to have whatever game you've bought that's in your game library, whether it's Game Pass, Games with Gold, or something you bought, is going to be playable anywhere you go. You could get on and play it on your laptop screen. You can play it on your tablet screen. You can play it on your phone screen. And like I said, some people are going to confuse this with, well, my phone ain't that good. It doesn't matter. Your phone just has to have a screen. That's really all it is. And then the ability of how fast it streams video, which, the smallest, you could have 18 megabits and still stream almost 4K. So your phone's not doing the processing of the game. Microsoft is. So like I said, I played it just straight on my phone with Wi-Fi at my parents' house. Hopped on my thing, played a round of Halo 5, and was like, shit, it's like I'm playing on a system. I was shocked because Google Stadia had some lag and some loading issues, even with Destiny. So I was kind of surprised about that. And then they're just going to include it free. It's just free with your Game Pass stuff. So I was just like, well, fuck, man. They need to be promoting this more, which they have promoted it, but people that either don't play Xbox or are not really deep in that ecosystem don't even know about it. Because I've told several people about it, and they're like, do what? And I'm like, yeah, let's play it right now. I can load my phone up, have my controller. I can play Halo 5 right now on my phone. Over 4G, 5G, whatever have you. No problem. And I really think they need to push this more as oh yeah, Stadia and all this stuff that's happening. Yeah, we're going to have that too included. So that's going to officially pop out on the 15th. So if you don't have the beta or didn't get it introduced to it or didn't have an invitation or whatever, just on 15th, you're just going to have access to it. I'm sure they're going to send out stuff to anyone who has Game Pass Ultimate and just be like, hey, here's your info, or here's your thing, or here's the app or whatever. So they're probably going to update the app too. Because right now it just says Xbox streaming on it. So I'm like, yeah, they're probably going to update it. But the Halo news. It's kind of a lot of Halo news. Actually, you know what? I'll get through the smaller news first, and I'll end with Halo. How about we do that? So real quick, speaking of Game Pass, the only reason I bring this up is because it's kind of a bigger game. Is Red Dead Redemption 2 was put on Game Pass. That's leaving September 7th. So, my friend Jared just got online. So if you have Game Pass and you want to play that game, you got till September 7th. And they do a thing where while it's on Game Pass, it's discounted at a price. So if you play it, and it gets to the 7th, and you're like, oh, I got to have this game, you can get it at a discount and just full out purchase it before it's taken off. I'm not sure if they're going to put anything else on there. They did have GTA on there for a minute, and then they put Red Dead 2 on there. So I don't know if maybe they'll go back to GTA or maybe have nothing. It'd be cool if Rockstar just had like one game kind of, or at least one game at a time rotating on there. That'd be pretty nice. Apple and then following suit, Android have blocked Fortnite. The way I played Fortnite on my phone in the beginning anyways was I went on their website, everyone did, and you would download a Fortnite installer, kind of like you would with a PC, and you click on it, and that installs Fortnite for you. So I was playing it before it was on the app stores, so I'm hoping that's still available. I would recommend going to the Fortnite website if you still want to play on your phone. I'm not sure because I have it through the installer. I didn't install it through any app store, so I'm sorry, I'm not doing my due diligence on this, but they have essentially blocked it on Apple first. Real quick, the reason why, very simple. They undercut Apple, and you don't do that. But also, it was against the terms of service. They were offering players, hey, you can buy this item, whatever, at $9.99 through the Apple Store, which is how you do it when you have an app on the Apple Store, app on the Android Store. You go through their systems. So they get a cut. So it's $9.99 on the Apple Store. You buy it straight from us, $7.99. So, of course, what the fuck are people going to do? They're going to go for the cheaper thing. It's like sitting at two gas stations that are across the street from each other, and one has gas 50 cents off. Yeah, I'm going over there. Even if I don't fill up, I'm saving something. There's still more money in my pocket at the end of the day. So they did that, and then eventually Android was like, oh shit, wait, are they doing it on our system too? Of course they fucking are. Boom, they're off there too. So Fortnite is now like rallying against them and trying to get their shit put back on and do whatever. So for all the Fortnite mobile players, I'm pretty sure you can still go on the Fortnite website through your browser and download the installer and play it that way. That's the way we've been playing it since it came out. They've only recently put that shit on the App Store. So hopefully you can still do that, but just know there is this weird, and for some reason they're going specifically after Apple. Like they've even made like little videos against Apple. I'm not sure why they're not doing it with Android too, but I don't know. That's kind of a weird fucking story. What's the other little small news? Oh yeah, but side note too, Apple also did this with South Park. They blocked them from the app. Because they said that they couldn't. Actually, I totally forgot about this. Apple did the same thing with xCloud. Speaking of xCloud news, god damn, I'm losing it tonight. Speaking of xCloud news, they blocked xCloud. Back in the day, they blocked South Park. Back when South Park before they were on Hulu, they had a website, southparkstudios.com, and they owned it. Comedy Central was very aware of it. And 24 hours after the episode aired on Comedy Central, you could go watch it for free. And I think they might have had some ad or whatever. Fine. Some ads in there. But you could watch it for free the next day on southparkstudios.com. They had every episode ever of South Park on this website. Just go to it. You can watch all of it. Well, they made an app version of that. And they went to Apple and said, "Hey, we own our shit." I'm not sure what deal they have. They have to have some great fucking deal. But they went there to them, and they asked Apple, and Apple said no. Rating all the episodes and everything, mature rating, yada yada, whatever. And they denied them. So then, of course, there we go. Matt Stone and Trey Parker, being the people they are, they go let Hulu do their thing. So now it was on Hulu. Now it's all on HBO Max. But they did block that from there. But now they're saying that because of Xbox having all these games on there and they can't individually rate the games themselves, even though there's an ESRB rating system, that they're not having xCloud be on Apple products. So I did have to preface, I should have prefaced with that, because if you have Apple, you're not playing xCloud for right now. Now, if you have some other tablet that's not Apple, or your PC, and you want to try xCloud out, like you're out somewhere, you can do it there. But yeah, kind of bullshit. And now they're doing Fortnite, but Fortnite's a totally legit reason. Like they're trying to undercut them. It's just kind of like, what? I think that's everything. Talked about Batman, Red Dead, Nintendo, Apple, xCloud. Okay, so Halo. So Xbox has their first party event, right? And it's okay. It's whatever. They show a bunch of exclusives, and I'm like, okay with it, and it's interesting and have you and everything like that. But the main thing everyone's waiting for is Halo. So, I think I might talked about it last episode. I'm not sure when I talked about it. But Halo comes out, and they do. I watched it in 4K and thought it looked great. And so they come out and they have this like 7+ minute gameplay, like pretty much a demo, and it looked great. I love the grappling hook. I love the possibilities for that multiplayer, not just grappling up to things, but being able to grapple and grab things to you. I love that. The guns sounded great, which sounds always been a great thing in Halo, be it the music or the actual sound effects. The guns have always sounded great. And then people shit on all the graphics. And the thing I kept seeing was like, one of the brutes, their face looking all fucking goofy. Now it's a meme. And it's like, yeah, that's okay. It's whatever. So then they get shit on for their graphics. Then they come out and say, oh, our multiplayer is going to be free. And it's going to support 120 frames per second. No resolution, but it's going to be 120 frames per second. So now we got a free multiplayer, which supposedly is all their multiplayer. And there's no plans for a battle royale. So just their straight multiplayer is going to be free to play. Whether you have Game Pass or you have whatever have you, probably still have to have live, I'm guessing. Or gold live gold. They announced that's going to be free. So then the roller coaster goes back the other way. You're like, okay, well, fine. They're going to have this now. And then, I mean, like, I was just going to talk about the graphics alone. Because they were talking about how there's no ray tracing at launch. Which ray tracing, if you don't know, is kind of like it's the two key words for the next gen. For this gen, it was like HDR 4K, 60 frames. That was like that's kind of the lingo. You wanted your HDR, you wanted 60 frames, you wanted 4K. That's what you wanted in this generation, right? The next one, it's going even further to this thing called ray tracing, which handles lighting effects. Like say you have some kind of weird lasers, gunshots, muzzle flashes, all this kind of stuff, weather effects, everything. It adds so much more to what HDR did for these systems. And it's going to be a base level thing in these systems. They've talked about it with the Series X walkthrough. They've talked about it with PS5 and everything. But their flagship game is not going to have ray tracing. It will come, though, but they said in an update. So I was like, okay, your flagship game is not releasing with like the one main quote-unquote keyword feature, like the it word for this gen so far at the beginning. Seriously? Oh, okay. All right, fine. Whatever. I guess that's cool. Um, and I just thought that shit was kind of weird, but it will come out with it will they will add it with an update. No word on if it's a day one update, which I fucking hope it is. And then they go on. Oh, by the way, multiplayer will be 2-player co-op split screen. So they're bringing split screen back, co-op, all that kind of fun stuff. So it's like, okay, good, fine. We have that with the Master Chief Collection. That's all right, whatever. So then all that stuff happened. They faced, like, every time Halo news comes out, there's kind of some weird backlash to it and all this kind of stuff. And then they come out with like, no, we're going to have this, we're going to have this. So it's like, okay, all right, well, free multiplayer is pretty sweet. And so is the 120 frames. That's pretty sweet. Which surprisingly, my TV in 2010 supported up to 120 frames. I just turned on, it was essentially like it looked like motion blur because it's so, it's so crisp and clear. Like there's no motion blur. Game modes, when you click on game mode, usually drops your TV down to 60 hertz. Because then that's, either whether your game's 30 or 60 frames, 60 hertz is essentially 60 frames a second is what that TV will support. So when you see TVs with game mode, like I have a TCL 4K HDR10 65-inch TV that as soon as I go into a game, it'll turn on game mode. I mean, I can turn the game mode off. And essentially, I'm hoping that boosted up to about 120 frames, but they know, or 120 hertz, which is 120 frames. Because usually when that turns it on, like I said, it goes down to 60. But I'm going back and forth between my notes and everything. So they say all that stuff, and I mean, I still liked what I saw. I like the open worldness. I like the kind of the more sandbox gameplay. Like, I'm on board 110%. Just keep me in that Master Chief suit the whole time, please. But then they delayed it. It's delayed until 2021, no date. Hopefully it's first quarter. And now the reports are saying that there were too many contracted people helping out, which means like now some people might be like, oh, they're outsourcing. Oh, all studios do this. I mean, they outsource Blur Studios, which I guarantee is one of the studios they're working with, but they just do cutscenes. And with this whole COVID thing happening, I don't know if you've heard about COVID. That's pretty bad. I'm guessing that just communication between the studios has just been too much for when they got feedback from their announcement. We're like, hey, we got to change this. We got to do this. We got to do this. It was like, hey, this studio's locked the fuck down. So we can't give you anything. Oh, this studio's open, but we're doing everything via working at home. So it's going to take a little longer to get this, these items pushed out or these things done or whatever. So that's what's being said. And they're up forth with it. They're just like, hey, these studios and these people helping us and that working with 343. We just need a little more time. And fine, do it. I mean, they delayed Cyberpunk. They delayed They delayed Red Dead Redemption 2. They delayed tons of games. It's always there was a good saying, and I think it might have been Miyamoto, that a bad game is forever, but a delayed game can essentially or eventually be good. So would you rather them release the game now and then have to? Because once there's so many games I know, like we're looking at like No Man's Sky or Sea of Thieves or something like that when it popped out, it was just like, okay, there's a lot of problems, and then people dropped the fuck off. And now that they've like rebuilt these games into totally different things, like, especially No Man's Sky, completely different game. They're now having the trouble to get people back on. So I understand you want to come strong out that gate. Because look what Xbox did. Back in 2013, Xbox, they came out and they had that stupid fucking always online, no used games, blah, 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 all this shit. And of course, I'm glad they fired that guy and got Phil Spencer in there and he's doing God's work over there. But they came out and said that shit when they were the market leader. There were more 360s out there. And it was their thing to lose, and they fucked it up with that whole shit. Now, granted, by the time launch happened, They rolled back all that shit. And then they very quickly came out with a version without Kinect. They very quickly started boxing a version that didn't have Kinect because people were like, fuck it, I want to buy that extra. Don't make me buy it and make me pay an extra $100. Let me buy the system and then I'll buy the Kinect if I want it. And so that's why their system was more money, which was stupid of them to do. So look how long it's taken them to come back to build an ecosystem. You know, their work with backwards compatibility, their work with xCloud, their work with Game Pass, what they're doing with that. Just what they've been doing as far, they've updated their UI 100 times. The PS4 UI has not changed since it came out, which is not a great glowing review. It's like, okay, I still have trouble finding shit in that motherfucker. But I understand why they're delaying it. Go ahead, delay it. Fuck it. I'd rather have a great Halo later than a bad Halo now, to be honest with you. So I hope this doesn't hurt them, and it's going to be on Game Pass regardless. So if you end up getting a system, whether it's an Xbox S, an Xbox One, or Xbox One S, Xbox Series, no, my God, Xbox One S, Xbox One X, Xbox Series X, or to transition to another story real quick, Xbox Series S, the Lionheart. Now, there was a picture released, pretty sure it was Reddit, of course, where someone had taken a picture of a Series X controller, a white one, mind you. And on the back, because those controllers are now forward compatible and backwards compatible, you can buy a Series X or S controller and you go to your friend's house and he has an Xbox One X, boom, you're still playing. You still have your controller. And vice versa. If you're on a Xbox One controller and you go to your friend, he has a Series X, you could still hook your controller up. Same thing. Which I love. I love that. So it doesn't matter who I go to, friend's house, whatever. If I'm actually at their place, I can play with my controller no matter what system. Like Jared has the Elite 2 controller. He just wants to play on that system. So if he gets a Series X first, which he can play with that controller, and he comes over to my house, he wants to play with the same controller. And it carries his settings they're tied to his account. So when he comes over, he loads up his account, does his shit, and all the settings are right there ready for him. But anyways, this controller was released, and on the back it showed like compatible with Xbox Series, and then it said S/X. So Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X. So just like the Doritos bag, I'm personally saying yes, this is gonna be Xbox Series S. I would be shocked if it was anything else. What that entails, not sure. If it's gonna be all digital, like they did with the PlayStation, and they actually did it first with Xbox. There's an Xbox One S all digital edition, the Xbox One SAD S all digital, and the latest thing with that. Let me pull this up because I'm trying to transition all these stories and look cool. So there's that. So the name was released. Just like the Doritos bag, I'm just calling it, that's going to be the name. It's going to be Series S. It'd be dumb if it wasn't. But then, BGR.com releases this story that the PS5 and Xbox prices and release dates were supposedly leaked. So basically you have the PS5 and the Xbox Series X prices and release dates being leaked, with the leaker claiming to have detailed information for all 4 new consoles coming out this fall. Microsoft Series S supposedly will start at $299, while the Series X would be $499, which would put it on par with the most expensive PlayStation 5 model. The $399 PS5 Digital Edition would be $399, like I said, and then the PS5, disc edition would be $499. That's what is being claimed right now. Now I was like, well, shit, that means the Series S would be the best way to go. And then my friend pointed out, well, why? If the PS5 digital and PS5 regular are the same power It's just $100 less to not have that optical drive, but they're the same power-wise, and it's $100 cheaper. I'd go to PS5 Digital Edition versus the $299 if it's only $100 more and I get a more powerful system. That's the thing, though. The Series S is going to be as powerful as the PS5. It's probably going to rock around 9.5 teraflops, where you have the Series X rocking around 12 teraflops, and you have the PS5, both editions, around 9 teraflops. So you get the same power-wise system for $100 cheaper, but I get it because PS5 has different games. They have those exclusives, so it's like, well, fuck it. Get that one first, and then get the Series X later. I kind of like having an optical drive. I don't know if it's worth $100 just because I like having a 4K Blu-ray player. But granted, I guess if you just did PS5 digital and then did the Series X is a 4K Blu-ray player, so you'd still have your Blu-ray player. But I don't know. There's still something about physical games that I like because there's still a video store in my hometown. There's a Family Video there. I can still go rent games. I can still borrow games. If someone goes and buys the game physically, and they're like, "Oh yeah, hey, you want to borrow it? It's in my collection." Then I don't have to pay anything. I put it in that drive. Is that worth $100? It might be. If I borrow 2 games from someone and beat them, it's $120 I saved. That's a very likely thing to fucking happen. I have went pretty much all digital with my Xbox. My PS5, I'm split half and half, digital and physical. Just because, like I said, I went and bought the game so cheap. I mean, I ended up getting like God of War for $5. I got Last of Us Remastered $5. I got Horizon $5 at GameStop. But I had to get them physically. I was never getting those deals digitally. So I don't know, man. The optical drive still kind of has some value in it for me for $100 over the course of life of the system. So I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can pop that article open real quick and get the dates. There's that. Gotcha. All right. Yep. Demos. Blah 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 blah. One week. Blah blah blah. Lockhart, the Series S would be this year. We're looking at. Why do they have different dates? He's saying that the Xbox Series S will be released November 5th, while the Series X will be November 6th. Oh, yeah. Series S, November 5th. Series X, November 6th. And PS5, November 13th. I'm not sure why they would release those a day apart. The original dates... When were these tweets? It's August 18th at 6:08. This guy, originally July 1st, he reported this source, Roberto Serrano, was saying, and he's actually got a couple things right, I guess, looking through his history, that this Xbox release dates for both of them would be November 19th, and PS5 would be November 27th. Then he says, according to the latest news, more than a rumor or speculation, the next-gen console release date should be the November 5th and 6th date for the Xbox and November 13th for PS5. So we'll see if that's true. I'm not sure why the hell they would release them one day apart. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. It's very dumb. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. It's kind of weird. So we'll see how true those can be, but so far those are the latest rumors and shit as far as that goes. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. All right, guys. Thank you for letting me dump all that information out of my head onto you guys. No, I should do this a lot sooner, but it is what it is, I guess. Again, thank you guys for listening to this stuff. We got the DC fandom stuff out there. We got the Xbox stuff out there, the PS5 stuff out there. We got all the stuff. I know that PS5 did have a reveal of their controller, which was pretty cool, but it's their controller. It has DualSense, and it's a touchscreen and does all the the fun stuff, haptic feedback. I mean, that's really all it was. It was a cool little trailer, but that's really all it was. So, but yeah, I know this is still over an hour, so maybe you got a long car ride, you're playing games, or maybe you just had surgery and you can listen to my voice. Who knows? But yeah, guys, thank you for listening to this podcast. Please go to the Facebook. I post there, if not daily, hourly. I mean, because like anytime I see any nerd news, I throw it up there. I'm streaming on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Nethercastle Podcast. The way I do things is I'll stream on Twitch, so that way it's live there. And then I'll grab that video and throw it on YouTube, because it lives on Twitch for about 2 weeks, but it'll live forever on YouTube, so you can see it both places. So also go to the YouTube. Just go YouTube, search Nethercastle Podcast. Please subscribe. I'm going to finish my playthrough of God of War here soon, so getting through all this stuff, guys. But just please remember, this is the only place where you can get to power up and win the game. Thank you for listening.